Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this session. In the previous class, we looked into the last two tools of Hadoop ecosystem. That is Oozie Workflow Manager. That is Apache Oozie. And that is for creating the workflows. We saw with the examples how can we create the workflows, required workflows using the Oozie. And then we also looked into a Apache HBase, which is a distributed database, and how we can create the tables, how we can do the operations, how we can do the bulk load. We looked into that. In today's class, we will look into the Hadoop Yarn application. Yarn is it's a distributed cell, and it is introduced as a non-map reduce application. This is the one thing which is a non-map reduce. So there are many applications which will be like a non-map reduce, and most of the things we saw so far, whether it is a pig or a hive or a scoop or a flume, everything underneath it submits the map reduce programs. So yarn is a distributed cell, and this is introduced as a non map reduce application. Okay, so this is the distributed shell. Yarn distributed shell. This project includes the distributed application, which is an example of a Hadoop non-MapReduce application built on top of the Yarn. Okay, distributed shell is a simple mechanism for running shell commands and script in containers on multiple nodes in the Hadoop cluster. So we will see with the example how we can run these shell commands, and these shell commands and the scripts, it will run in a container spread across container which are available on the different nodes which is spread across the Hadoop cluster. This application is not meant to be a production administration tool. So this is more of a explanation is more with the purpose of the demonstration purpose. This how to use the distributed shell. We have using the yarn distributed cell. Here the example presented, remainder of this chapter, we assume and assign the following installation path based on the Hortonworks HDP 2.2. So this is with the assumption that this is for the HDP 2.2 version, and if you have a different version, I have told you how to search using the find command. You can find the location of the installation, and you can find the jar. In this particular example, this is the location. You will set the environmental variable yarn underscore ds. So you will use the command export space the environmental variable, and you will give the location of the jar file. What you can do is, if your version is different, you can use the find. And this example, this is given for the this is version Apache version. If you have installed from the Apache manually, if you have installed, then it would be this location. Okay, this is for the location of the jar. So you have to set the yarn underscore ds. Again, if you don't have, if you have some other installation distribution, you can find and give the search key as Hadoop hyphen yarn hyphen applications hyphen distributed shell. If there is a version name, then you can say asterisk, which will take care of the version name dot jar. Then it will list the locations, and that location should be set as the value for yarn underscore ds environmental variable. So assuming that you have set the correct value for the yarn underscore ds environmental variable, how we can start the yarn distributed shell is using this command yarn space. This is the complete path for this client. hyphen jar, then yarn underscore ds hyphen help. What hyphen help will do is it will get the list of all the commands that can be executed on the yarn distributed shell, and we will look into each of those. You can see this will give us a usage here. Once you issue this command, okay, once you issue this yarn command, then distributed shell will start, and hyphen help, that is the command you are executing, then it will tell the usage. So this is the client. It is telling the usage of the client. So it will list out all the commands that can be executed using the yarn. For example, here hyphen app name, okay, hyphen app name, then argument, application name, default value. Similarly, hyphen attempt failure validity, hyphen interval, you can give the argument, okay, and the description for the that one is like when this particular attempt underscore failure underscore validity interval in millisecond is set, it is set to greater than 0, the failure number will not take a failure which happen out of the validity interval into failure count, so it will not consider that into failure count. If failure count reaches a certain value, that is max app attempts, the application will be failed. So then the application will fail. It will until the failure count reaches to this maximum value, the failure will not happen for that particular container. Then this is a container underscore memory. You can set the memory for particular container. So container, you can just visualize it as a virtual machine where you can run your commands. So that is a container. For that container, you are setting the memory, and this is a container vcores. Okay, these are the amount of virtual cores to be requested to run that particular shell command. Whatever the shell command you are giving for that, how many virtual cores are required, you can set using the container underscore vcores, and container underscore memory is how much memory you want to set to execute that particular shell command or the script. Then we have um, create command. Okay, so this will flag to indicate whether to create the domain with a specified domain given by the hyphen domain. If a domain has to be created, then we have to use that option. Then hyphen debug, what it will do is it will dump out all the debug information. So there will be a specific location where we can dump all the debug information. And when you say hyphen debug, all the this is used for the debugging when you are developing a application and running it on the yarn. And if, because it is a distributed, it's very difficult to do the easy debugging. So what you will do is you will give this option hyphen debug. So it will debug, it will dump all the information into certain log files. Then you can look into the log files for the any kind of a error or any kind of a out of sequence activity, and you can figure out the problems. Then a domain and argument. This is ID of the timeline domain where the timeline entities will be put. Okay, whatever the timeline entities will be there, it will be put in a certain location. Then we have print hyphen help. This will print all the uses. What we are doing, the currently what we are looking is we have executed the hyphen help. Okay, if you see here, the command that we issued yarn, then you give the client hyphen jar, then this is the yarn variable hyphen help. This is the command we have executed. It will print all the commands and their usage. All right. And again we have hyphen jar, this hyphen jar with argument jar file containing the application master. So wherever is the application master, if you want to give the location of that jar, you can provide it as a argument, hyphen jar and argument. Then keep hyphen keep underscore containers underscore across application underscore attempts flag to indicate whether to keep the containers across application attempts. If the flag is true, running containers will not be killed when the application attempt fails, and these containers will be retrieved by the new application attempt. So whenever the containers are created, those contain if we set this value as true, those containers will not be killed. The containers will be it will persist, okay, and it will be used by the other application. Then hyphen log properties, that is a uh, setting the log4j.properties file. Then my master underscore memory argument, this is the for application master, if you whatever the memory you want to set, you can set it. So every application is run and it is managed by the application master, and for that application master you can specify how much memory you want to allocate. Similarly, for the same application master, how many virtual cores you want to request for, that you can set using the hyphen master underscore vcores and modify ACLs. So ACLs is like whenever you want to change the permission for the user and the user groups, you can use the ACLs. So modify underscore ACLS ACLs users and groups that allowed to modify the timeline entities in the given domain. Then we have hyphen node underscore label underscore expression, then argument node label expression to determine the nodes where all the containers of this application will be allocated. Suppose if you want to know all the node information where all the containers are present, then you can set this particular value. So empty means you can see here there is a empty value given. That means the container can be allocated anywhere if you don't specify the option. By default, this expression of q will be used. Then next one is setting the number of containers. How many containers you want to set to execute particular shell command. So using num underscore containers, so you can specify 2 or 4. Those many containers will be used to execute the shell command. Then priority hyphen argument. This is the priority you are setting for the application priority. By default, the priority is 0. Suppose you have any higher priority applications, then you can specify the priority. So how the resources will be allocated? Resources will be allocated according to the priority. The resources will be provided first to the higher priority applications compared to the lower priority. Then this is a queue. So RM queue in which this application is to be submitted. Okay, which queue that needs to be submitted, you can specify using hyphen queue. Then hyphen shell args, means shell arguments, command line arguments for the shell script. Multiple arguments can be separated by a empty space. Suppose whatever the argument you want to provide for the shell command, then you can use shell args. For example, one of the command is ls minus l. Minus l is the argument, ls is the command. So how you can provide that minus l is using hyphen shell underscore args. Then you can say minus l. And if there are multiple options that you want to give, you can give it by using separating them by empty spaces. Then next is shell underscore cmd underscore priority. This is the priority that you are going to set for the shell command. Okay. Then shell underscore command is the actual shell command that you want to execute by the application manager. So what is the shell command right now we executed was help. Help is the shell command that we executed, and that is executed by the application master. Then uh, uh, when we are executing the shell underscore command, either we can specify the shell command, or also other option is we can provide a shell script. Shell script is nothing but it's a scripting language where you have included all the shell command, so it will run as a script. Then we have hyphen shell underscore env. This is for environment for shell script specified as key and the value pairs. So if you want to set that, you can use the shell hyphen env. So it is always as a key value pair. Then shell hyphen script argument location of the shell script to be executed. So if you are providing a shell script for execution, then hyphen shell underscore script, and you will specify where that particular script is located, location of that particular script. Then hyphen timeout argument application timeout in milliseconds. So if you want to set any timeout, uh, then you can specify using this particular timeout. If you are seeing like there is a certain time, you have to set it as a timeout. If application is not running, then you can specify that. Then view underscore apples, you can see the permissions, right? All the users and groups that are allowed to view the timeline entities in the given domain. So view apples, you will be able to see who are the users and groups who have access. This is a simple example. We'll see an example. The command that is executed will be uptime. So this is the uptime, that is the shell command that will be executed. How to execute that? You will say yarn and then the client, okay, dot client with the complete path, okay, hyphen jar, then the yarn underscore ds dollar, okay. So you have already set this value as the jar file for the yarn distribution, whatever the jar file we have, that value is already set as a export. And hyphen shell command, this is the for issuing the shell command uptime. So it will give us a uptime. Then once you submit this, okay, once it starts running, it will start running this in the distributed shell, okay, and you will not see any output here. And if suppose that particular this shell command gets executed, so it is going to write it into the some output files. So automatically you can go and check those output files for what is the result of the execution of this command. Here what you will see is just this particular information. If this command gets executed successfully, it will see a info distributed shell dot client application completed successfully. And for some reason this shell command is failed, then you will get a message saying error distributed shell dot client application failed to complete. That is the message you are going to get. Next step is to check the output of the application. So we just now ran the uptime, okay, we ran the uptime, and assuming it is completed successfully. How to check the output of that particular application? Distributed shell redirects the output of the individual shell commands run on the cluster nodes into the log files. So the output will be redirected to the log files, which are found either on the individual nodes or aggregated onto HDFS, depending upon the log aggregation is whether it is enabled or not. Assuming log aggregation is enabled, the results of each instance of the command can be found by using yarn logs command. So this is the command yarn logs. For the given example, that is uptime, we can check this one. We can specify yarn space logs hyphen application ID, and the application ID can be found out using the program output, or by using the application command, yarn application command. So in both ways you can find the application ID, and you can provide that application ID, and this will show us the output. This is how the output will look like. This is the first container. First container is always, whenever you submit a application, the first container is always going to be the application master. So application master is the one which will run the actual application, that is the shell command. So this is the container. You can see this is container 001, on which node it is running, it will tell, and some information. Okay, so info distributed.shell application master initializing. So application master starts. Then we have container 2. This is the container 2. This is the container 2 on which node. Now here you will see what is the output of that uptime. After log type standard output, this is the timing, then log length, log contents. So it will give the uptime. So at this time up 33 days and this many hours. So notice that there are two containers. First one is ending with one, which is for the application master for the job, and the second one is the which runs the actual script, means uptime script or the command. So here uptime is our command, that output is shown in the second container. Okay, that will be executed by the second container, and it will be shown after shown when it is completed successfully. After checking the log files, we can see the output. So if you want to use more containers, we already saw there was a one option that we can provide. By default, it's going to be a master. Okay, application master is the one container, and the for the one more container for the actual script or the actual command. If you want to use more containers, then what you can use is you can use hyphen num underscore containers. If you provide this option with the argument, whatever the number of containers you want to use, you can specify that. Here is the example: yarn, then dot client. Rest of the things is same. Here hyphen shell underscore command. What is the command? Host name. We're checking the host name. Then hyphen num underscore containers 4. So we are asking to use the 4 containers. Then we will see the result of that particular execution. Okay, arguments can be added to the shell commands using the hyphen shell underscore args. So if I want to include the arguments, then we can use this particular option. So this is the example that is taken, ls minus l, which will list the directory. How to execute that ls minus l? You can see yarn, then the client, then hyphen jar, dollar yarn underscore ds, then hyphen shell underscore command. What is the shell command? ls, and it needs the arguments. That arguments is given using the shell underscore args, shell underscore args minus l. Then once it is successfully it completes, we can look into the log files. Okay, and this is how you will get the output. So, and all these files, if you see, though these files are not located anywhere in the HDFS or the local file system, these files would be in memory. Okay, so Hadoop distributed file system, it will have these locations in memory, and these will not persist. If you look for the any of the HDFS location or local files system, you will not find these files. So they have done the pwd command just to see where are these locations. If you do that pwd, so it will show the some container location. So this will be in the buffer. This will be in the memory. And suppose you want them to be available for certain times. Let us say you are doing some kind of a debugging, right? You are trying to solve some kind of a problem. If you want them to persist, you can do so. How to do that is there is a particular setting in this particular file yarn-site.xml. In that you have to set the configuration. So property, this is the name, yarn.nodemanager.delete.debug delay set. This is the property that you will set, and these many seconds it will persist. So here it is mentioned as 100,000, so it will persist for 100,000 seconds. Use a delay in seconds to preserve these files. And remember that all application will create these files. So you have to remember whenever you are running any application, these applications are going to create these files. So that is why there is these are not allowed to have a like a temporary that persistency is always temporary, so that memory will not be piled up, it will not be choking the system. So these files will be, if you don't set this, by default it will delete those files, as and once the application completes its running, those files will get removed. So if you see the kind of application that are created, see, you can see launch underscore container dot sh, okay, and then executor underscore session dot sh. These are all temporary. Okay, and other option for setting these values and looking up the files is the using the Ambari. So in Ambari, you can go to the yarn, and in the yarn you can look up location for these log files and these temporary files. You can see their content. So here for the debugging purpose, when debugging or investigating yarn application, these files in particular, launch underscore container.sh, offer important information about yarn processes, and distributed cell can be used to see what the file contains. Using the distributed cell, the content of the launch underscore container dot sh file can be seen here. So we can, if you want to print the content of this, so first you have to make them those files to persist. Once those files are persisting, then you can look up the content of these files. This is for the, I told you, any kind of a debugging purpose or the investigating purpose, where you are trying to figure out what is going wrong or where it is failing. Then you can look up these files. And how to look up this file is this command. All these things are exactly the same. Here you will say hyphen shell underscore command cat. In Unix also, you know, the cat will display the contents of particular file. That is the command, shell command you are going to issue. And hyphen shell underscore arguments, you will give the name of the container. So name of that shell script, launch underscore container underscore container dot sh. That shell script, whatever the contents are there, we will be able to see. So here is the container. This is the container.sh file. If you see here, here all these are export. We are setting up the environmental variables, export nm underscore http underscore port, local directories, export Java home. Java home has been set here. Then nm underscore aux service underscore map reduce underscore shuffle. There are so many things. Some of the things are we can understand by looking at the environment variable. Some are very internal to the yarn. Okay, so it is using Hadoop yarn home. Okay, file location, GVM PID, user password, container ID, nm port, log name, then Hadoop configuration directory. So there are many environmental variables that are set. So these are log directories. And now you will see the actual command exec. You can see here exec, and you are specifying it as a bash. In this particular example, the bash shell is used, /bin/bash, then -c, then you have the command, okay, inside the double quotes. The double quote starts here and it ends here. What you are doing, cat, okay, launch underscore container underscore dot sh, and the output is going into this location. Okay, standard out. So you can see this is getting redirected here. This is in log with this particular application ID. Okay, and also it is going into this yarn log and this location. Then Hadoop underscore shell underscore error code dollar equals dollar question mark will give the status. So whatever the previous command that was executed, it will give the status, success or failure in terms of a 0 or 1. Okay, if it is not equal to 0, that means it's a failure. So that error is checked here. If dollar Hadoop underscore shell underscore error code not equal to 0, then exit and error code is displayed. Exit dollar Hadoop underscore shell underscore error code, that particular error code is displayed. So structure of the yarn application. The structure, whatever we talked about is an example. In this particular structure, we will understand how whenever we are running a particular example, how that example will get executed. What is the structure that we have? The complete yarn structure. What is the application manager, where it is residing, how it will start the each of the application master, and how the containers will be allocated. That complete structure we are going to look in the this particular section. Okay, so the structure of the yarn we will look into the next class.